On the back straightaway into turn number 3, thick thin, still 3 wide. Brandon Feeney, high, wide, and handsome. He's going to go to the outside and get past Camillo.
I don't mean to be two birds and bees with you folks, but this is how cautions are born.
All right, welcoming back to episode number 4 of Ladies of Motorsports Month. We have once again Miss Jennifer Hatch over there. She's got a new location behind her iRacing wheel. How are you doing this weekend?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing good. So you had some repairs done to Big Booty Judy, but unfortunately everybody looked like they were rained out. So have you taken her around the block to test her out yet, or?
I didn't, but Zach did. Yeah, he took her for a rep. Everything looks good, and it's too bad. Like we stayed up late Wednesday night, we stayed up late Thursday night. We had as you know, we had the kids out there on the Tuesday night.
We recorded on Wednesday last week because
that's right. Wednesday night, yeah.
Yeah, unless the mom's watching, then the kids totally didn't help.
Oh my gosh, I returned them covered in grease. It was awesome.
Well, they have to learn somehow.
That's right.
Someone's got to be the bad influence. It may as well be grandma.
In so many ways.
So, this week, are you on the schedule to race down at Delaware?
I thought I was, but apparently I'm not. So no. And Zach's not racing either. So we were the only track on Saturday to actually get the race in. So we raced at Flamborough. The Legend Series was at Great Lakes Legend Series was at Flamborough. And yeah, we got the whole night in, which was crazy.
So any eventfuls happen that you can share, like first time winners or stuff like that? I seen McFadden was on the podium at least once.
Yeah, no, it was like, those guys that the Ontario Legend Series wasn't racing. So a bunch of them came down, and they're quick, and they're veterans, really. Like they've been racing a longer time than a lot of our Great Lakes guys. Austin Arnell did an amazing job, just absolutely amazing. He was battling Cole McFadden for a little bit, and he slipped up a little bit, and Cole got him, and which was great. I mean, I love McFadden's. At the same time, it would have been really nice to see Austin win on the big track with the other guys.
Don't worry, you can be disappointed in Zach the rest of the week too. So, also I'll touch on Caitlin Wallace was racing for the racing bonus. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to capture the flag on that one.
No, I was able to find Caitlin and finally get our big hug in and meet face to face, which was really cool. And no, she was running her backup car, and just it wasn't as as competitive as her main car, and so she was kind of disappointed in that.
But she did say the only car she's ever won in is that backup car.
Yeah, but I think probably at the same time that was a while ago, and I think competition gets better, and
it was 2 years ago, so it wasn't like.
Yeah, you're true. It's not always wasn't like
because she won the same night I did, which was championship night at Peterborough, so it would have been basically just over a full season ago. So like it's not. Mini stocks have evolved a little more, but not huge. I think it's one of those things that Flamborough, if you get out front and you're able to run a competitive racing line, it's really hard to get around. Like you have to be super fast to get that run, or you have to have a lot of motor to get that run. Same as Peterborough. If you run a competitive racing line and you're not checking up extra early or checking up on eggs or stuff like that, it's really hard to get a pass on there. Like
yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, this week we have
and I got to talk to Jody again too.
That's the real reason you went to Flamborough. It wasn't because the legends were there and you had a job to do. You just want to go see Jody again.
Yeah, I got some more pictures.
Yeah.
We were having chuckles. We were chuckling.
Yeah, you got to get her down to maybe Delaware freaking one day to,
Yeah, I said that to her. I said, you got to come to Delaware and watch me with Big Booty Judy.
especially because it's Friday. Like,
Yep.
and she doesn't even have to cook burgers if she's there.
That's right. I'll buy her a burger.
Yeah. Delaware burgers just aren't flam burgers.
No, they're not.
Like, as I've been to Delaware twice.
Onion rings at Delaware.
And
Really?
see, I don't eat onion rings. This is so I can't even compare to other tracks. But from what I eat at track food, which is like your hamburgers, hot dogs, fries, like your main staples.
Yep.
Last time I was at Delaware, or last 2 times I was at Delaware, they just, of all the tracks, they're probably lower on the list.
Well, we can talk about that another time.
Well, it's just one of those things. I like going and trying track food. Track food is one of my favorite. It's like going to fairs and having like the mini donuts at the fair, like fries from the fry trucks at the fairs, or
Deep fried Mars bars.
deep fried Oreos.
Haven't done that. I'm not an Oreo.
Essentially, it turns into a really soft Oreo inside the deep fried.
They couldn't do that.
See, I like soft Oreos.
No.
Like, I don't like the cakesters, but like I'll let my Oreos go stale so I can eat them soft. But yeah.
Oh, you're crazy.
No, I don't have a lot of teeth left. That's my problem. So anyway, so this week's guest will be Morgan Moore. I think her dad's gonna kind of pop in with her. I forget how old Morgan is, but she drives the junior late models out at Sunset Speedway. Does a lot of charity work. I think she's involved in almost every charity opportunity she can be in, which is really great for a young person in the sport to not only drive, but to do all this for her community, and kind of, it works both ways. It helps their community with all the charity work, but it also helps racing because this young girl that's racing is showing that what racing can bring as a value.
Absolutely.
So,
and really, that's how we based a lot of who we had on was people that were giving back to the racing community. If you weren't somebody that, kind of is being instrumental in our racing community, then we went on to choose people who were.
Yeah, and I also tried to spread the love between all the different tracks and try to get as much. Obviously, I picked August to have the longest month possible, so we had 5 episodes.
Yep.
So right now, as of we're recording, the Howard sisters have taken the lead for the most views. Caitlin had a really strong opening week where she actually, I think, has passed Nicole within like the 4 days it's been open. But yeah, I think the Howard sisters on Rainout have been bribing people to watch, because they went from like 30 views for the first week to, I think they're almost at 80 now.
Well, and I haven't shared them to my page yet, because I want them all to be done and give them equal opportunity on my page to get hits, because like you said originally, like Nicole was going to have the longest time period. So I'm going to wait till we're done, have the last one air, and then I'm going to share them all to my page.
Well, and this is kind of like the way I work this. Like, so yes, Nicole has the most amount of time, but she is the first one bringing people to watch the episodes, because there's going to
go and roll.
So some of those viewers are going to roll into Howard's, Caitlin's, Morgan's, and
but
Paige's.
They're not going to roll back into Nicole's. Is kind of, so that's true, right? If they just pick it up because they wanted to watch Caitlin's, they'll roll into Morgan's, but they're not going to roll into the other one. Yeah, so that's true.
Yeah, so it's one of those things. So Nicole was at an advantage and a disadvantage, and the way I based it too is, I don't want to say that Nicole and them are less popular, but I know Morgan and Paige kind of have a bigger fan base, as well as just from like family ties and social media and stuff like that. So
I also kind of disagree, because if you think about it, like anyways, we'll share them all and we'll try and get them a bit more, like a bit more, coverage, because like Nicole runs the bone stock page. We need to put it on the bone. See, the problem is, you put it on the bone stock page, that gives her an unfair advantage, really. So,
but she also shared the Howards on there.
Yes. Did she share her own?
She shared her own. She shared the
Okay.
Howards. I think she even shared Caitlin's,
Well,
even
good
though
for her.
she's a mini stock. Like,
So
Nic-
that's the reason why Nicole was on, and that's why she was one of the first people we had on, because Nicole is unbiased and she just loves racing and she loves promoting racing, and so that's why we
well,
love
plus she was on early because I wasn't sure how long before she was having the baby. I knew it was August, and it was like, please don't have the baby midair. If I put you the first
her.
episode, all
Yeah, we were pretty safe there.
right. So without, we're gonna take a little break here, and we're gonna bring in Morgan Moore and join us, and we're gonna have a little bit of a conversation. We're gonna see what's got her into racing and got her into doing all this charity work and raise and seeing how much money she's raised for the year so far.
Perfect.
All right, we have our guest Morgan Moore from the Junior Late Model Division at Sunset. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
Doing great. So, how long you been driving the Junior Late models?
So far, like 3 seasons now.
3 seasons, and how did you get the captain nickname?
Oh, so that was from my grandfather, actually. He has called me that from day one, just the Captain Morgan Moore. So that's pretty much how I got it. He's just called me that from day one.
It takes a lot from like a family nickname to catch on to like where you get Brendan Doherty and stuff that calling it like every time you're on the track. Like, did
Yeah.
did like your family kind of tell Brendan about that, or did it just kind of like naturally progress into your racing nickname? Or
Um, I don't think we told him anything about that. Maybe he saw it on my car because it is on my car, but I don't think we told him that. I think it just came to him and he started calling me that.
yeah, Brendan Doherty is
Pretty-
probably one of the best.
And it's a pretty cool tagline, right? Like, it's pretty cool.
It's honestly one of the best nicknames. I wish that like my nicknames were that good.
We won't tell you what we call you, but
No, you tell me just off air. But so you've been driving 3 years in the Junior Late models. Have you traveled any other places other than the Sunset, or?
I've been to Peterborough. I went to Flamborough one time and I didn't very much like it there, so we're kind of sticking to Sunset and Peterborough. I do like Peterborough. Actually, it's my favorite track. And I won my first heat race there. But other than that, it's just Sunset and Peterborough.
what
So-
track would you like to try that you haven't tried?
A lot of people have been telling me I need to try Varney because the thing that I don't like about Sunset is banking. So a lot of people are telling me I need to try Varney just to get used to banking because that's why they call it the Soup Bowl, is because of all the banking at Varney. I'd like to try Sauble.
My favorite track.
Yeah, I'd like to try Sauble. That I think a lot of junior lates run there, so I think it will probably be a great track.
And not a lot of banking.
Yeah, not a lot of banking at Sauble, I've noticed
And
from videos.
I believe that they have a big Junior Late model race. They just announced like $1,008 to win. I think September 1st as well.
Oh wow.
It is that same weekend. And then I saw Gord Bennett had posted about Grand Bend. He had also put up the Brad Clark Memorial Race the same day, and he didn't realize it because Sauble's website doesn't show the schedule, or the correct schedule or something. So he had cross-checked all of the racetracks and thought he had, gotten it when nobody else was running the junior lates, but apparently there's a Sauble race and the Brad Clark Memorial at Grand Bend, which is also a really, really cool, very technical track to run. If you can race at Grand Bend, you can race anywhere, is what they say. The bull ring is what they call it.
It's a lot smaller than the rest of them, is it not?
It's pretty small,
Yeah.
but I've heard rumors that they are going to widen it, but I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I've heard.
Sauble and Grand Bend are very similar in size, though, aren't they?
No, Grand Bend's definitely smaller.
Because I know Sauble's a quarter mile, where everyone else, like I race, is a third mile.
Mhm.
Other than
No.
Delaware, which is what, 3/8 of a mile?
Maybe it's like
Delaware.
a thing, but
So
anyways.
Delaware is half a mile, is it not?
See, I'm not sure because I know Jacasa, I think, was 5/8 of a mile, and Kawartha was 5/8 of a mile. So I wasn't sure what Delaware. Somebody will correct it in the comments eventually. It'll be like when we're trying to figure out Jody's name. Somebody will tell us how big the track is. So, Morgan, obviously you can't be in junior late models forever. What classes do you look at moving up to, and like where do you think your goal would be to end up further in your career?
If I choose to move up, I think I would try Legends. I think they are the coolest thing. I've loved watching them. Like I used to go to the racetracks even before I was racing, and then I would be like, "Dad, the Legends are on. We have to watch this," because I loved them so much. So I think if I had to move up, I would move into the Legends.
Half mile for Delaware.
Okay.
So half mile for Delaware, so you're right. And Legends are, honestly, I've raced pretty much every division there is. And the Legend car, when I was racing that, by far is one of my favorite cars to race. Now Zach's
Yeah.
racing it. Like now Zach's racing them and he loves it too.
Also, one of my favorite cars to drive. Like I drove against Jen for the couple years that we both drove legend cars, and they take the most amount of skill to drive fast, and like you can never relax as a driver, which I think is what we enjoy the thrill of having to constantly fight the car to be fast. And
Yeah.
Well, if you go back and even watch the race from Saturday night that Pedal Power put out at Flamborough, like you're going down the straightaway and they're just bucking left and right the whole time. Like they're absolutely insane to drive. They're fun.
Yes.
Would you have any advice for Morgan getting into a Legend since you've driven them both of you?
Yeah, it's just some practice for sure before you throw yourself into running side by side with anybody, because they are quite, they do kick out quite a bit. They do have a mind of their own. There's just, the power to weight ratio is really quite impressive in them. And when you watch the front runners, they're out of control pretty much 90% of the time.
so
Yeah.
the thing I will add is the legend cars to drive are really easy to drive at a normal slow pace. Like they're a very comfortable car. But when you start pushing it to be as fast as like your top 10, top 15 cars, because I think the fields of you are on the ragged edge and you have to have quick but precise hand movements. Because if you watch most of the guys that like or gals that are driving the legend cars, you'll see them when they turn the wheel, be like, that will be their turn. Where they'll be like this and like that and like this, like all the way through the corners.
All the time. Yeah. Actually, one really good one to watch is Cole McFadden. He usually has a GoPro in his car, and Smokin' Joe Adams. He always has a GoPro in his car, and he usually has the in-car version, so you can see his handwork and stuff. And that would just be really cool to watch. So you should check those out.
Also, Matt
Yeah,
Hoff.
Matt
I've
Hoff.
seen a
Yeah,
couple of those online.
Yeah, but Matt's usually in the States. We're promoting our
Yeah, but if you're trying to learn as a
our
driver,
locals,
Matt
our local
is.
guys.
But I said though, if Matt's a
Matt.
local guy, but he's just going and beating up on the Americans.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, it's they're a fun class. Honestly, if you move to legend cars, you may never want to leave the legend cars. I wish I still had mine. If I would have known the Great Lakes Legend Series was coming, I probably would have kept mine, Jen. So I don't know if you know this, Morgan, but Jen is the race director for the Great Lake Legend Series.
Yes, I've actually heard that.
I am.
There at
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
we were there at Motorama when it got announced this year.
Oh, that's great. That was on International Female Women's Day. That was pretty
That's
cool.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a great day.
So maybe if you guys get in contact with Jen,
It was a great day.
so yeah, maybe if you guys get in contact with Jen, and next time you guys are off, and maybe the Great Lakes Legend Series are running, maybe she can kind of shout at you to show you some cars, because I'm sure some of the drivers would be willing to show cars, let you sit in one, kind of like see how they are and stuff like that, and explain things to you. Because the biggest thing is moving up classes is learning what new you have to work on, like what your maintenance is and stuff like that per week. Which, I ran the old 1250 motor, so the maintenance on those was pretty high. Like you had to make sure oil was changed almost every race, if not every other race. Clutches, stuff like that. But yeah, I'm sure Jen knows enough people. Even Zach works on these
Oh yeah.
things constantly.
My son actually builds them. So
Yeah, so perfect.
yeah.
But yeah, Jen can hook you up that way if you're interested in the legend cars, which I believe 14 is the youngest age for the Young Lions.
Nice.
I want to say we had a 13, but
That'd be Keaton Pipe, right?
yeah. Yeah, so it's like Young Lions,
Semi-pro,
pro,
pro, masters.
master, golden. There's a golden. I would be a golden.
There's a golden division.
Pretty sure. I think we'll go. Maybe I'm not a gold. It wouldn't be a golden yet. I think golden. I think it's over 50. I'm
No,
not
because
over
masters is over 50.
Then it's golden.
Yeah, I think masters is 75 up, I think. Anyway, before we get sidetracked down that, I want to go off this because Glenn Morris is, I think, still a master. Glenn's getting kind of old.
Nice.
So did they split them into different classes based on that then?
So that's just INEX.
Okay,
So-
yeah,
So at the end of the year, so everybody has to have an INEX membership, right? And then at the end of the year, you will, there's like an INEX points fund as well. So it's for each division within the Legend Series. So you can win the Masters and not win the points championship. You can win the semi-pro and not win the championship, right?
So also with that is like if you have like say the Nationals where both the Great Lakes and Ontario usually come together for the Canadian Legend Car Nationals, you'll actually have each division will be paid out. Like so you'll have your overall payout for your overall winners, and then each one of your division winners will get like a separate trophy and payout and stuff like that as well in the same race.
Mhm.
that's neat.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So yeah, because I believe is it Jake Spencer Walt is building a legend car right now?
I saw that today, actually. I saw the 705 guys are doing it. Franklin.
Yeah.
Because that was Bear Chastity, I think, 3 weeks ago, and well,
Mhm.
those Walt boys like to build things quick.
Yeah,
So
lots of young kids starting to come up through, which is awesome to see. Because for a while there, I was getting a little bit concerned because there was a lot of 30 plus, right? And not a lot. There was, we had a handful of kids that were under 20 or 22 exact age and under. So
yeah, because I think when me and you were racing together, I think Cole McFadden was the only young guy we had.
mhm.
Anyway, so back to Morgan here because me and Jen will get sidetracked all day.
It's all good information.
It is.
good information.
So obviously, you said you would like to move up to the legend cars and stuff like that, which I believe there's also, I don't know if Great Lakes is going to work with them as well if it takes off the Bandoleros and stuff like that, which is also NX. I guess that would be a talking feature later on. But you obviously get to drive with the same core like group of drivers and stuff like that. Do you look forward to like maybe like if a Peterborough cars like pops out that you get a race with like say a certain Peterborough racer, or is like there's the people you like racing with, there's the people you like you give extra room to?
I I very much like most of the Sunset drivers. Like I love racing with them. It's fun to have the Peterborough drivers come to Sunset, and it's fun to go to Peterborough. Um, I'm pretty confident and comfortable with all of the drivers that I've raced with because, I mean, most of us are all at the same level, and so it's easy to just feel comfortable with racing with them.
So I also kind of noticed with the junior late models, obviously I get to watch Peterborough more often, but I was at the Sunset Brian Flying Frank race there a few weeks ago. That it seems like you guys are all in like a big friends group where you guys all kind of hang out between races and stuff like that. Is that kind of like you guys have your own little friendship group and it's like, hey, you did good. Like you guys like how we do with adults, like you guys need anything help with your car and like
Yeah, I mean, at the Flying Frank, I had some contact with Lila. Uh, so a lot of the times we will go over to their cars and say, "Hey, is your car okay? Are you okay? I apologize. That's not your fault," kind of thing. And a lot of the times I see drivers hanging out, and hang out with other drivers, and sometimes we go and sit in the sand, sometimes we go and get ice cream. But yeah, it's great to be able to hang out with all of them and to have that relationship with everyone.
If I can just say something on that too, like not only the drivers but the parents themselves. When Morgan did get in contact with Lila there at the Flying Franken, the first practice, we bent an axle, and it is literally the worst job to do at the track on a junior late model is change the rear axle. And we had 7 different teams, including guys from Peterborough, coming over to offer help to help us. And, you know, we had it torn apart, put back together before literally minutes before her first heat race. And we did the same thing for Lila, make sure that she's going to get back out there and out on the track, because none of us want to see any of the cars not make the field. So whatever it takes to get them there is the parents are, you know, they're fantastic when it comes to stuff like this.
Well, and Morgan too, like you won't understand this until much later in life, but like I started going to the racetrack when I was 3 months old. And so I have friends that I grew up with because our parents raced together. And so, you know, it's a lifestyle, and here I am 31 years later still racing, and now my kids are racing with me, right? And but some of these people I've known since I was brand spanking new, right?
Yeah.
So lifetime friendships, lifetime relationships, lifetime memories. And you won't know that till much later in life, but you'll look back on this and the people that you're racing with now, and some of them, their kids will race your kids, and you know, whatever, or you guys could still be racing 30 years from now.
Or when you get in the legend car, maybe your dad will jump in and you guys can race against each other.
That's
Yeah, I'm in for that.
You could be Captain Morgan, and does Captain Morgan have a
Let-
side?
Yeah, Slam and Sam.
Captain Morgan, the famous father-daughter duo. There you go.
I can honestly say that was one of the coolest moments of when I got my dad into racing. When I moved up to Thunder Cars, I gave him my old bone stock. When I got to borrow a car from a guy that was off that night, he goes, "Hey, can you run my car to keep it in points?" I'm like, "I'd love to." And I got a race with my dad and my brother. It's the only time all three of us were on the track at the same time. And it was just one of those moments that, like, you don't get to do that much as a family. Like, especially like in NASCAR, you see like the little Bonnie brothers or the Bush brothers. So you don't see many fathers drive against their dads. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
enough.
Well, and like it's cool, like it's me and Zach, right? Like there's not a lot of moms and sons.
And
So
with
we've
Morgan
raced-
and Sam, you got father daughter.
And we've raced each other a few times. So again, it's really cool to see those family connections. And yeah. Who knows? You're so young, as gosh only knows what'll happen in this sport.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. So now I think we're looking for a couple legends for the Morgan Moore racing team. and then he's well, that said, they can get ready to run the Great Lakes Legend Series with Jen.
That's right.
There we go.
Yep.
So obviously, like you said, you like the legend cars and stuff like that. Is there any other cars that, like, as you kind of got used to racing and kind of got more and more into racing, that you're like, hey, we have to watch like this class, or we have to watch like this driver? Like at Sunset, I know it's almost everyone on the facility is on the track or watching the track when Archibald goes out there, just because
You
Dan
never know what's gonna happen if Dan's in the show.
Dan is entertainment value, plain and simple.
Dan will become the show.
Dan is there to be an entertainer, which is awesome. And we had Dan on the show, and the best thing is he goes, I drive people how they drive me. If they tell me I'm gonna
Yeah,
wreck them.
good catch. Okay.
But yeah, they're like, if they tell me I'm gonna wreck them, guess what I do? I wreck them. They're right. But honestly, though, the funniest thing is they don't realize is if you go over and you talk to Dan and have a conversation with him, Dan is one of the nicest people in the pit area.
He has messaged me numerous times here and there, and we've chatted, and you're right. He always checks in to see how I'm doing, how I'm making out, how I'm feeling. No, he's like literally, he is a nice guy. Some people, Dan included, potentially, you put the helmet on and go a little bit,
Someone new.
you're a little bit cuckoo sometimes, but
But at the same time, it's racing, it's
passion-
competitive.
it's passionate. That's right. Exactly.
But
Morgan gets it already. She understands already.
yeah, she puts the helmet on. There's no more smiles. It's we're winning.
Yep.
So you also do a lot of charity work and stuff like that to go with your racing. And I've seen a lot of things you've been doing for 2024. Why don't you go through some of the charity fundraisers you've done already this season and what you have coming up?
So far I don't know of anything that we have planned, but this year, starting in February, we started raising money for the food bank, doing the polar bear dip with Sunset Speedway. We were posting videos online to raise the money. And in June, we did a like raise the dough for my school with Ref's Pizza, one of our sponsors. So they were all of the money to buy a pizza or an ice cream. Half of it goes to my school. So we were there supporting for them. Also in June, my school did a fun fair, which is the school community getting together, and there's food trucks and blow up castles and stuff for the kids to play on. And so we were raising food donations there with my teammate Keegan Moe. And we also went to a pie education event in June to raise money to buy backpacks for underprivileged children who maybe can't get those backpacks for back to school. So pie education gives it to them so that they can go back to school and feel confident with what they have.
And also, you guys also donated to this to the charity thing I was doing with CDC for the Canadian Cancer Society as well.
Yeah.
So we got to thank you for helping out there as well. So maybe now that Dad has snuck back in, maybe you can ask him if there's any more that you have planned in, so we know if we can help you out with those.
Anything planned?
I mean, as far as our fundraising right now, I'm hopeful that Sunset will ask us back to do the polar dip again in February, which I don't know if Morgan already told you, but we were the highest contributors of all of the competitors, and Morgan raised $2,200 just by the videos that she made up to make us jump in the water and stuff. So those are the big ones that we look forward to. Obviously, we still do a bunch of stuff for the tracks, like yourself, Brandon, what you were doing there. The Flying Frank, we donate to lap sponsorship to that. The Junior Handley Classic, donate sponsorship to that. The Velocity, the last race of the year for us at Sunset, we put some money towards that as well for the junior late class. And I think a lot of it is more supporting not only our track, but our fellow competitors and stuff, whether they're running at Sauble or Peterborough, if it's stuff that people are passionate about, then we're passionate about it as well.
Absolutely. And like some of these big races, like that 2-speed nationals that we just did with the Legend series, is
Yeah.
we combined them up at Sauble there, and just, I mean, we gave away like $10,000 worth of stuff and money. Like it was crazy. Like and so like we were saying, like the guy in 5th place got less than the guy that was first guy that went a lap down. Like it was just there was money all the way through the field, and it was just so great to see.
We were glad to buy one of the hats for that as well. So
See, thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those things that too, like I think even last year with colors when we had all the lap sponsors, I've always liked the people that will sponsor like different things and different laps of like say an 8th on lap 8 or like and
Yeah.
it's really hard to intentionally go after those.
Yeah.
Like it's easy to get the ones where if you lead whatever lap you lead, it's X amount of dollars. You know, you just have to get to the front. it is really hard to count cars while you're in the middle of racing. And like
Yeah.
all of a sudden you look up lap 8, all right, I have to be, oh no, 7 spots. I ain't making 7 spots in one lap. But I said I enjoy that because I find that spreads it through the field, and I think they're gonna do that at Peterborough again this year. I'm not sure. I'm not personally running it because I've taken on a lot of things this year. I don't know why, but I like to be busy, I guess.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
And that's another one too. Like this year, we're probably only going to get to Peterborough one time, and it will be for colors. And I'll be speaking to Dave and JP again, and we'll definitely want to put some money towards the junior late purse at that as well. Just because it is the last one of the year, it's a fantastic show, and to me, it's all about the kids. It's like these kids are doing amazing things that most people can't do on an everyday basis. So if we can put a couple of bucks to put a bigger smile on their face and make them want to come back, I'm in for that 100%.
And another thing is like Peterborough has a really good car count for the junior lates with the 2 divisions
Yeah.
there. And I honestly think because they have the car count where they can do the 2 divisions, it's better at growing the division because then you have the kids that aren't quite as fast as like the experienced drivers like yourself, Morgan. They don't get discouraged right away. They kind of get to learn at their own speed and then move up into the faster class. So I think
Yeah.
as that comes down, you could potentially look at like a 30 car field or more for autumn colors.
Yeah, very cool.
Well, it's great for the growth of our sport because Jen knows this for like we were mentioning about the legend cars. The youth have to be involved in motorsports, like yourself, Morgan, to be interested, to want to race. Otherwise, our sport fizzles out.
That's right.
Yeah.
So,
I wish I had this opportunity when I was 12 years old. Like these cars weren't available for us at that point. So, like these kids have got an amazing opportunity in front of them, and like you say, run with it because they are the future of our sport.
yeah, because I'm gonna go on a limb here because I don't know how old you are, and I'm not gonna ask Sam because I'm gonna be nice.
Oh,
But
I'm celebrating my 50th birthday this weekend. Happy birthday, Jen.
I can't take any more birthdays with you.
but so when you would have been legal age to drive,
Yep.
I would have assumed it would have been you would have had Westgate. Sunset would have probably still been, what was Sunset called before Sunset? It was called something else because
Very Speedway?
I've always known it as Sunset. So we had Barry and Sunset that were like literally half an hour each direction from me. So those were our 2 main ones that we used to go to when I was a kid. And my dad it used to, the old Cayuga before it was Jacasa and stuff, like we'd go down there for big events. My dad would be helping out friends of his when they would run the ASA races down there and stuff like that. But those were the 3 main tracks that I went to. I've heard of Pinecrest, but I'm not that old, so.
My dad raced Pinecrest. Yeah. That's
but
where are you racing this? Are you racing this weekend?
No, not this weekend, next weekend.
So next weekend you're where?
I'm at Sunset next
You're
weekend.
So next weekend will be your race that me and Tracy Ellis might have to pay you.
There you go.
A heat race or a feature race on the week that you air, but you're not racing this weekend. But so then we'll carry it over to next weekend for you.
Right.
Where are you guys?
That's awesome.
Where are you guys this weekend? Are you going to be
We
at
are off.
Are you
Pardon?
going to be at Sunset though?
No, I am literally celebrating my 50th birthday this weekend, so I got
I
a
was coming
weekend off the track. So
Oh, if you're in Barrie, I'll find you.
it is Phil.
Even closer.
I'm
boy.
not gonna touch that one, Jen. Jen is our local bad influence.
Not true.
Not true.
Sam knows.
I didn't want to say anything. So.
Oh.
It's your show, not mine.
I
No,
feel like Pops would give it away more than anyone.
Yeah, well, Pops is part of the problem, I think.
yes. And like, and it was my son's birthday, and he didn't even come out with us. And then I end up wiping out in the hotel room. Oh, it was just a night.
Yeah.
It was a night.
I've
So-
never spent that much on French fries in my life, I'll tell you that.
That was. I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but that was a really large barbell.
Yeah, you forgot to say French fries.
Yeah, French fries.
But
Anyway, carrying on to the better parts of the story.
so Morgan, we've been asking all the drivers the last few weeks to make Jen make a playlist. What
Yes.
is a few of the songs that you like to listen to before a race that kind of like gets you pumped up and going?
I don't know, actually. That's a hard question. Yeah, that's a good one. Kickstart My Heart's a good one. I like that song.
When all these are done, I'm gonna
Listen to Taylor Swift.
and we'll call it playlist.
What's that? Sorry, Jen?
After all these are aired, I'm gonna make a playlist because we've asked every driver like some of their favorite songs for like getting pumped up and stuff, and so everybody's given us a couple songs. So I'll make a playlist that people can download, and then it'll be like the Feeney called playlist.
So what would be your walkout song? What's the one?
Kickstart My Heart.
Yeah, Kickstart My Heart by Motley Crue. There we go.
I feel like Jen already listens to that.
Actually, friends. Well, one of my coworkers is going to Waterloo tonight to watch to listen to Nazareth. And I was like, that's a throwback. I'm like, somewhere I have an old Nazareth t-shirt that is like almost see-through because it's been washed so much. So I thought that was pretty cool. I have a couple of questions from people that wrote some questions. So what is your favorite moment so far in your racing career?
So I don't know. This might sound weird. So
Nothing can.
after I won my heat race at Peterborough, it felt really nice to be able to get out of my car. And I remember what I said. My friend Keegan, he was like, "How'd you do?" And I said, I won." And he's like, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah." And it felt so nice to like, I don't know. We were both really, really happy, and it felt so nice to be happy and to have won the race. So that was definitely a great moment.
And that was your first win. So that's something
Yeah.
you'll never forget ever in your life.
No.
That's right. Love it. What do you think of your crew chief?
He's a little bit delulu sometimes.
You shouldn't talk about Kim like that.
Wait, what was the word you used to describe that?
Delulu
The Lulu.
What
Delulu.
is the Lulu?
in his own world. He has his own world sometimes.
Oh my gosh. Sorry. What made you want to start racing?
Sorry, what was that? I just didn't hear the first.
What made you want to start racing? Like, what was like, was it coming to see and watching the legends and going, okay, I want to get into racing, and that was kind of where you guys picked to start, or what made you get into racing?
So we were camping one time, and it was near Varney. So we went to Varney, and we saw one of the junior lates. I can't remember which one, racing at Varney, and me and my dad were both very gobsmacked, and we were just like, this is so cool. And so he went out into London one day to look at a car, and he just kind of came home with it, and that's how it started.
The most
So it's
dangerous thing is to go look at a car with an empty
Yeah.
trailer or truck.
You know,
It always comes home.
the problem is they're little enough you can put them in the back of your truck, so you didn't even need a trailer. All you needed was a pocket full of cash.
They're like little puppies. You just can't say no.
I got one of those on Saturday too.
Is the puppy still like right beside you, or just sneak out?
No, that was Ella. That's my old girl. It was actually Melly, my daughter that lives in Quebec. We went on Saturday and met the puppy at the foster family and it came home. So I had her with me Saturday at the racetrack, Sunday, took her to work with me to the dealership on Monday. Monday night, I met Mel's dad in Kitchener and handed off the puppy to go meet Melly. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't get attached to things very quickly. And I got a little teary-eyed leaving that puppy behind. She was amazing. She's an amazing puppy.
So what you're saying is when you go visit Melly, is the dog might come back home?
Yeah, that would be nice, but no, I'm not home enough to have a puppy. My old girl's fine because she's just grumpy. She just goes to bed. But puppy was a lot of work for 3 days.
So you'll let Melly raise her for a few months, and then that when she's an old girl, then you'll be like, "Mom,
Yeah.
she's adult enough for me now."
But then I'll be in a home and I can just take the dog with me.
You're not that old.
My kids have tried to take a home already, so they're mean kids.
So Morgan, you're not allowed to try to put your dad in a home when he gets
That's
Gen
right. She's like, again, he works on my car. He's safe until I can do it on my own.
Yeah, she might get her fingernails dirty.
My dad always made me fix my own goofs. So if I goofed up, I had to fix it myself. And I still have nails.
Yeah, it's one of those things that like I found that's kind of a cool thing of the transition of motorsports is you only used to have the more tomboy style girls kind of coming into racing and stuff like that. It was more of a challenge to prove that they could beat the boys and stuff like that. Jen knows exactly what I'm talking about because I feel like that's how she got there. But like I like how now like I don't want to say the girly girls, but the more traditional girls are coming in, and like you can see them with like I don't want to say hair and makeup done, but like you know what I mean, like as they kind of get in there, like they have no problem being like, I'm here to race. This is what my thing is, but they go out the next day. I think it's who is that I seen? I think it was Savannah Finley from Sobel that she raced one day and then the next day she was at like a wedding, like full makeup, full dress, and she goes, I'm comfortable both, like doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Which
Well, especially, and like with me, like I do work at a dealership as well, but I also am a real estate agent for the last 22 years. And like, so one of my cover pictures was one foot is my race boot and my other foot is a high heel. And I love that picture because that's who I am. Like some days I'm in a dress with 6-inch heels and the next day or that weekend I'm got my fire boots on.
Yeah.
Well, Morgan, I don't know if you guys know this about Morgan, but she's also a competitive dancer. And we have literally taken her from the studio in full makeup hair, wipe it all off in the car, and get to the track and put your driver's suit on and your helmet and send her. So,
Okay, so
she's
Morgan, go on Dad's Facebook and go through my cover photos and find the photo that I'm talking about. And then I want you to do the same photo with your dance shoe and your boot. Okay. Okay. Awesome.
Nice.
Then send it to me and I'll put it on mine.
so
Okay.
that's kind of coincidental that the last 2 weeks we had two. Well, Caitlin used to be a competitive dancer, and now
Answer, that's right.
yeah, that's just weird how that worked out. Because so
I'm a competitive dancer too.
only when French fries are involved.
With lots of watch me dance.
But so I'm gonna ask this question because I didn't realize Caitlin was related to other racers and stuff last. Is there anyone that like you might be related to at the racetrack or at the stuff like that we might know about?
No, not
No.
at all.
So your first generation getting into this, and then you're gonna tell your dad once like you get into legend cars, be like, come on, old man, you're slow, let's go.
A couple of weeks ago, I got to take the junior late out with her. I have two of them, so I took the second one out. We set it up for me to get in it. And yes, I can close the hatch. And we went out for practice a couple of weeks ago at Sunset Speedway. And the proudest moment of my life is she drove by me like I was standing still. And I lost that car twice, thinking that I was going to show her how to do it. And she blew by me like it was incredible. It was the best moment of my racing career so far, that's for sure.
That is awesome. That's awesome. It's
So-
always fun. Like my dad's a racing dad. He raced hobby cars and street stocks and everything, and now he's a drag racer. 79 years old, still drag racing. And I took his car out one time and for the weekend, and after my first full day, I actually beat his reaction time, and I was doing really well. And he was like, "Okay, get out of the car. You're making me look bad." But he was proud. he was proud that I had done so well in his car, and yeah, so that's really cool, right? Like it's cool, and I have my son racing, and so when he went to Sunset there in the Legend car a few weeks ago, we were there and picked up the B main. He's still fairly new to racing, completely new to racing, and not just in a Legend car, but racing in general. And so to pick up the B main, that was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
It
And
is.
it's good to see your kids succeed and beat your butt too. So
Oh yeah, I haven't. He hasn't. I don't think he's. I don't remember. I don't want to. Yes, he did, because my transmission. Because the four of us raced the one night and made Canadian history, and then but my transmission broke. So they did beat me.
That doesn't count if you break. It has to be.
That's right. That's right. That's what I'm gonna go with.
I don't want to say mono and mono, but you know what I mean by that phrase. What is the female version of mono? It's
Karen.
not Karen.
Confused.
But
Way too old.
Yeah, she doesn't get that.
There
not
was
yet.
some guys had. Speaking of being old, there was something you guys had said, and I really wanted to make mention of what you guys were talking about, and now I can't remember what it was.
Was this like in the prior before we started recording?
No, that was just like, it was just like right now.
See,
Doesn't
I do the same thing. If like if I don't say it, it's gone.
That's why sometimes I jump in when I really shouldn't, but if I don't, I will totally forget.
Yeah.
What we should have done is had like ADHD notepads made up for this, so we can write it down and come back to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Morgan, we're gonna give you a few moments here to thank all your sponsors on your car, and let people know where they can find you on social media, and also any merchandise you might have available for purchase.
I'm pretty sure we have no more merch available for purchase, but I would like to thank my dad at Homeland Auto Service, Napoleon Home Comfort, Georgian Chevrolet, Canadian Sanitation, my Uncle Al, Epic Racewear, Redline, Science Wrap and Apparel, our Auto, Toronto Insulation, and CNC Tree Services. They're all some of my bigger sponsors. And you can find me on social media at Shenanigans Motorsports on Facebook. And that's it.
So did your dad just stand up so you could read his shirt as a list?
Yep.
That might be the
That
most clever
thing.
list placement ever.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome.
I've
But
seen
also-
some people bring lists before, but that's probably the most unique one.
And I also will say too, just and very well spoken, Morgan. Like you're so well spoken, and you're gonna do great, girl.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We want to thank you guys for having us, that's for sure.
Well, hopefully we can give you some money next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe she'll take home the viewership prize, and
Yep.
because I have a feeling that even if they win it, they're probably going to donate somehow to charity anyway. So
That's good karma, right? Oh, I remember what I was gonna say too. I was gonna say like the whole junior late model thing. Like I've never been in one, and I've watched them quite a few times. But somebody said if you didn't like your kid, put them in a junior late model because they're such a rough ride.
They are. It is brutal.
I know. And
They're
here, we put our kids in them.
zero suspension.
Yeah.
They are rough.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I talked to Lane Zardo a few weeks ago. It might have been more than a few weeks ago, depending on how ADHD works. And he said the only thing he's afraid to drive on a racetrack is a junior late model.
I don't
Like
get
Lane Zardo, the wild child of the Zardo family, won't touch a junior late.
Yeah, they're rough. Like the one time that I ran it at Flamborough, I got out of the car and I was just like, Dad, my brain's rattling.
that.
I couldn't, they're very, very shaky and a little bit scary at times.
No, they
Colton
really
Everingham is dying to get into one though.
half of Colton Everingham is dying to get in one.
He's gonna be wearing two like shoes.
But
But
like I really do see that there is going to be a lot of the junior late kids come into the legend cars, and I think you're going to find a lot of similarities in those too. I think it's I think the next 5 to 10 years is going to be very a huge growth spurt in a lot of divisions, I think.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's all because of people like you that allow us to do this, that focus on them, that bring the attention to these young kids and stuff like that. So we got to applaud you guys. SNS, same thing, that like they're promoting these young drivers and they're putting their face out there so people know who they are. Morgan can't walk through the pits without somebody knowing who she is, or the grandstands. So it's all because of people like you. So
and I do believe when me and Jen and Tracy were putting together who we were actually going to pick as the 5 ladies that were coming on, I believe between Nicole and Morgan were probably the 2 most recommended drivers to come on for not only what they do on the racetrack, but what they do off of the racetrack as well.
that's
right.
fantastic.
It
That's
re-
awesome.
That's very true. She was one of the very first ones that got a nomination to come on, and she kept coming up and coming up and coming up. And me and Tracy, hands down, said absolutely.
That's incredible. Thank you so much for that.
So I'm going to thank you guys for coming on. I hope you do well, not obviously next weekend, and you take some of Jennifer and Tracy's money. And if you win the feature, you get some of my money too. So
Oh, somebody else can pay instead of me. So.
no pressure, but
That's right.
Well, we really appreciate you guys having us, and we wish everyone good luck in the competition, obviously, and everyone's safety on the racetrack.
That's awesome. Thanks for coming on, guys. I really appreciated it, and I really enjoyed it. Haven't really got to talk to Morgan a lot because I'm not at Sunset a lot. Now I'm coming to Sunset, and you're not going to be there.
Sorry, it's my birthday.
Not actually your
Yes.
birthday. His birthday isn't until November 3rd.
But we need a summer party, so.
so
Oh
the
God.
ongoing joke since we started doing the ladies month is I've been by mistake I've been calling Jen Uncle Jen.
Yes.
I don't know why, it just came out that way, but
yeah,
she's kind of what reminds me of like if you have a fun uncle, like the Funkle. Like, you know what I mean? It's like
He's a uncle.
so,
funny, that's for sure.
but
I'm gonna call you Funkle every time I see you now.
It's great. Thanks.
but maybe you just as Sam's having some French fries, maybe you just steal Morgan, bring her out to Sunset Speedway, and like see what trouble you guys can get into.
Oh, I'm sure Morgan could get you in trouble.
Probably. Well, we'll all be at Autumn Colors together.
That's right. We'll be there for that.
Yep.
So.
Are you camping?
No, it's too hard for me to tow 2 trailers at once. So last year we rented a hotel room, but you'll be at Velocity too, will you not?
Yes, we will be.
Yeah, so we'll be at Velocity as well.
Pretty sure they're on the Friday though.
Yeah, we'll be there too. Track walk on the
That's
Friday.
cool.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Cool, schmo- that.
Not for
School's
Velocity, you don't.
Yeah, this
It
is
is
what bad
important.
influence Jen is coming in. But yeah, if it's something for like the track walk, I believe it's the Allen I don't know why it's not. Is it
No,
Lincoln?
Larkin.
Lincoln, yeah.
Lincoln. Okay.
I always say Larkin too, and I always get
That-
corrected.
I don't know why, but okay. Again,
But
I'm not up that way, so I don't get there very often.
see, you guys do have another upcoming charity event you're being participating in.
Well, yeah, our car will be on the track. We've volunteered to put our car on the track. I guess they're doing a track walk for the hospice in Barrie, I believe it is. That's what the donations are going for. So glad to help out with that. Great cause, and if we can be a part of that and help out, put a smile on a kid's face that walks by and wants to get in our junior late, then we're happy with that too. So.
If someone wanted to steal my car, they could put it on display as well if it's still here. It's just sitting in the trailer ready to go.
There you go.
See, that's what you need is you need an open wheel modified.
Oh God. Now, Morgan can only race one thing at a time. It's gonna be a legend.
Yeah,
I
and
proved
I
you
have
can
to
race more than one
test.
thing.
I have to test the next thing. So like I gotta get into the legend. I gotta get into the modified or the pro late or Corey McAllister's OSS car or whatever it is.
Hey, just saying that you already know the modified that I have. You seen it race last year.
Did I?
It was a sunset car.
Okay.
It also has
Which
a
one?
it's Herb Walters car from last year.
Okay. Yeah.
It's the only car, as far as I know, in Ontario modified racing that has electric powered steering.
There you go.
So
How do we always almost say goodbye and then we always get another half an hour out of this show?
shenanigans.
It's Morgan.
Yeah, he's so talkative.
Amazing.
You can see she's starting to get tired, so we'll call it a night. We thank you for joining us, and we'll not keep you for another 60 hours.
All
Yeah.
right. Thank you so much, guys.
Post your picture of your shoes.
Yes.
All right.
Sounds good.